joining us. Can't wait to talk about your story and how your team's been doing in this past few seasons. And we also have Ria Gathing, 5-time freshman of the week. I mean, my goodness, it was a toss-up on who was going to go to for freshman of the year, but congratulations on your success, as well as Ontavia Wagner. Thank you so much for your time as well. We'll jump straight into things, a new look in a sense for this team, and we're talking about the new look. It's a very young look.
Yes.
I don't think there are any seniors within this group. So when you're talking about the foundation and what you want to see for this squad, where does it start?
It starts with their young enthusiasm and energy, and sometimes you can say because they're so young they don't know what they don't know. So I think they're approaching the season with wide-eyed intensity and looking forward to every matchup. And I don't think they're ever going to take a team for granted or look over a team. So it'll just be one day at a time, and I'm excited for them.
I know a lot of teams are wide-eyed trying to defend Maria last season. So Maria, for you, what did you learn last year, and how do you build on it?
Last year was a really big learning experience for me. I learned a lot about, the conference as a whole, while also getting thrown into the fire a bit. But I got a lot of insight from our seniors from last year. It really helped me get through it. It got kind of tough, but I think that with the help of them and then everybody else on my team, I was able to get through it. And I've taken that and I want to take it into my sophomore year and also give some insight to the freshmen that we have now. So.
Wow, so now you're a leader of the team too.
Yeah.
The biggest piece of advice that was left to you?
I think the biggest piece of advice was, stay within your mind and keep it positive, because that's the only thing that you really have. Your mentality really matters.
Awesome. And Ontavia, just being able to be with this group, grow with this group, and even challenge ourselves to be that team that can really shock the rest of the conference. What is that going to entail?
I kind of like us being a really young team because no one knows what we have. No one knows what we're capable of. And I think that if we continue to just for instance, this season we've been working out a lot. Compared to last season, we know we're young and we've been getting at it and getting in the gym. So I think if we keep pushing forward on that and keep building on what we have, I think we're going to be a good team.
I mean, she said they've been putting in a lot of work. The guns are out up here too. I mean, my goodness. So something to get the sun's out, right? Coach, just the philosophy that you have with such a young group. What does that start with, and how do you continue to challenge them when you do say what you don't know, you don't know?
Right. I think that culture lives on, and that's what these guys have been a part of. And our team has really, in Boston College women's basketball, I think is now known as a gritty team that's going to come out and play hard and have that no quit mindset. So the challenge that we have, that we've been putting on them, is to really hold each other accountable and challenge each other every day. So I have a team of awesome human beings and wonderful young women, and it's just turning that switch on when we get on the court to becoming great competitors, and forgetting for that moment, maybe in those couple hours, that you're teammates, but you're also got to go against each other and really compete against each other to hold each other to another level and to bring each other to another level. And they've really bought into that, and I think in the long run, it's made them really get along off the court as well. They have a lot of respect for each other, and I love watching them grow.
And they're led by one of the best, obviously being one of the premier coaches and former coaches of the year, but also you have in your 5 seasons 2 20-plus win seasons as well, and then also 2 with 10 or more wins in the ACC. Navigating how to win in this conference, what does it start with?
It starts with belief and a mindset. Maria just said it. Their mindset means everything, because we have one of our slogans is 5 together as 1, and that's just when we're on the court together. If we all believe in each other, it's a lot. The whole adage, like this we're pretty weak, but together we can do anything. And as long as they keep believing in that, it is the truth. And if we stick together through the highs and the lows, I think this team is going to be really special this year.
Just going back to what this team can do, looking at the roster, you talked about the pieces that you have missing, but only returning 29% of your scoring output. Does the scheme look different? Is it almost like a fresh slate? Now we can really get creative with how we want to do things. Does anything change in that department?
It's funny. I think we say we're not returning a lot of production, but we have a lot of depth. We've added a lot of depth. So, we have right now 10 healthy players that can go, and I think 1 through 10 they can all play. So I've never really had that since I've been at Boston College, where it's just a really great group and everybody has each other's back. So I'm excited to see the makeup of itself. I think we can be a little bit faster and a little bit more aggressive this year than we ever have been.
How do you feel about that? When you're looking at the style switch?
I think that it gives us like a clean slate, like you said. I think that bringing in 5 freshmen is like young minds that we can like help shape, and they're like really go-getters. I think they're always going to get in the gym, they always going to get into work, and that makes me like really proud, really happy because I mean that during the season we're going to get after it, and I think that we're going to surprise a lot of people.
Okay. What's the conversation been like in the locker room as well? Obviously, now ACC, the tip-off media day, things are a little bit closer to getting things started. So at this point, what are you seeing in the locker room and how you guys have been able to challenge each other?
I think that in the locker room, we're like a family. So we like talk a lot about like what we think we want to do this year, what do we have to do this year. So a lot of the talk is about how we need to basically upset people's minds and think that we're not going to do good. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk about how we got to get in the gym, doing these drills, doing this and that, just to make sure that we're better, that we're prepared. Because not many of us have experience in the locker room, and so we're looking forward to like showing what we have to put out there.
Okay, well, you get to show to a couple of teams in the non-conference as well. I believe I see Ohio State is on that schedule as well. Walk us through what that looks like for you guys and being challenged right out of the gate.
Yeah, I think, and again, that's what having a young team is. Every game will be a challenge in its own way. So each non-conference game will hopefully give us the experience and the confidence to move on into the ACC schedule. And then we get to go to Puerto Rico this year and play a couple games. We're excited about that. But again, Stephen F. Austin is a tough team, and so we're going to face a style of play that we haven't really faced for a 40-minute game. I think that'll be fun for our players. And like you had mentioned, we have a couple of Big Ten teams in Ohio State and Rutgers in the Big Ten Challenge. So I think it's going to be a really nice, challenging non-conference schedule that is going to go into us being prepared for the ACC.
And there's no place like home looking at your schedule.
Right. Yes, and so we're excited to have some home games, for sure.
As far as the culture, and you mentioned just being a coach that just tries to instill that in this group, I want to start with you, Maria, and what you witnessed from coach as far as what that culture means and building that winning culture at Boston College. What have you been able to witness here so far?
I've taken a lot from Coach Mack, and I think that she hones in on like our 3 pillars a lot: trust, love, and grit. And I think it starts with the team. Just like getting to know each other more off the court, knowing like our strengths and weaknesses, how we can work on that, and then holding each other accountable. So I think that learning from Coach Mack, the fact that we need to hold each other accountable and be prepared for what like the season has to, that holds for us, is something that like I'm gonna take with us into the season.
I'm not trying to start any like Twitter beef or anything, but when you're looking at the schedule, obviously every single team is very tough. But when you're going up in the ACC, is there any team that you have circled on the schedule that you feel like is going to be a great test for you guys?
I feel like a great test is always Notre Dame. I feel like that's a game that we're always looking forward to. Looking forward to Virginia Tech as well.
Okay, very nice. And then for you two, just if you can speak to the other players that are not here, talk about the depth that you have and then the freshmen that are coming in, but what have you been able to witness as far as the gelling capabilities of what you guys have been able to do?
One thing about like the freshmen we have coming in, like all the new players, is that we're losing. We lost a lot of offensive players, but we have some really good offensive players. I think that one of our freshmen name is Tiana. She's probably one of the best offensive players on our team. She's from Canada. So I think that that's one thing we're gaining. We're gaining more people with offensive like mindset that can build on their defense. So that's a good thing that we have from the freshmen. We know they're going to input when it comes to like scoring and stuff like that.
So was there any shift at any point during the ACC play last year where you're like, I have the pieces to be a little bit different defensively? I know that's something you said you wanted to continue to build on, but where was that shift and how did you kind of build your own philosophy on what that looked like for the pieces you have now?
Really this summer, getting to see them all come together, and Tay's she's kind of like our catalyst on defense that really gets us going. And I don't think there's any anticipator of passes and getting in the passing lane better than Tay. So I think just having her energy on the defensive end has really rubbed off on our young freshmen, and they see there's no doubt great defense leads to such easy offense. And so as a young team, I really want to be a program that does start to pick up. You know, defensively, we've not been the highest ranked team within the ACC and in the country, and that's something we really want to change this year.
Anyone to avoid the audience? Anyone have a question? Just want to raise right here.
Coach, I know that you had some players transferred to other schools within the ACC. How has the transfer portal and immediate eligibility kind of changed the way you build rosters and how you interact with your team once you recruit them to Boston College?
Right, I think, you know, I haven't really changed much in my philosophy. I think the biggest thing that all of us coaches have to be okay with is just changing with the times, right? So right now, what I know is that the players that are in my program, right now, we are going to be family. And now, as long as they can stay with me and as long as I can get to coach them, that's my second family and we love each other. When they go off, if they move on to other places, like right now we had this past year, five seniors get their Boston College degrees and move on. I'm still going to love and support them where they're at. It doesn't change, but my team right now, the players that I have, now they're the most important thing and they're at the forefront of everything I do. So we have to be able to adapt and change, but I think I still love recruiting high school players just like I always have, and I think the transfer portal comes in as being a great opportunity to bring in people that maybe you missed on, and you get to kind of have that later date to fill in your roster if you need it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Perfect. We'll just continue to build on this. We have probably time for one more. Coach, just from your experience with building teams and just being able to establish like what you want moving forward. I know you have to be like the biggest cheerleader in the raw person for your squad. What are you telling everyone else? I know that we just heard from the ladies about what they want to be as far as shocking everyone else, but the potential and what they have and how quick you can see it. What does that look like?
What it looks like for me, and these two next to me, like I mentioned Tay on defense and what Reardon brings every day on both defense. I mean, she already has our school, all the block records and everything. Like, she's amazing in her young right, and she's easily going to be a professional when the time comes. She's a pro almost already. So I think what shapes our program are truly the people. I have an amazing coaching staff that brings their energy, that gives their heart to the team. I have amazing players individually that have high character. I think that you build on high character, energy, and just everybody being positive and really dropping their egos down to being, hey, we're for each other. And I think these ladies know if our team is successful, that's individual success for them and vice versa. And when it comes to building a program, I'm just excited I get to surround myself with lovely people that I can't wait to be around.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, ladies. It was a busy day for you guys. Thank you.